listener, welcome to another amazing and inspiring episode on Veegil podcast. And you know how we do here, we're all about inspiring, making impact, and talking about some civic matters that people really do not look into, but just enlightening us and telling us more about it. And my name is still Olaiton Babatunde. And as you know, I don't do this alone every Friday. I have my amazing people with me in the studio, my beautiful, beautiful people with me in the studio. Precious and Grace, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, see, I know you guys can sense the energy in Precious' voice. If you know what's behind that, so this happened yesterday afternoon, and since yesterday afternoon, that energy has been up there. But then if you need me to tell you what really happened, why she's really happy, because he's really sort of a dirty, you guys. Yeah.
Biology now.
But biology, yeah. Biology. We're talking about biology in the studio yesterday. So in case you want to know, just hi me in the comment section. I'm there to spill all the tea. Yeah, because she didn't pay me not to spill the tea, so why not? I'm just going to do that. So on today's episode, we're talking about FGM, female genital mutilation. And female genital mutilation involves the partial or total removal of the female genitalia.
Yeah. Don't go through corner. Say it as it is. Which one is genitalia? I don't know what that means.
It's a light on terms. It's a light on terms. So let's just go with it.
Like go straight.
I think she's now a semi-doctor. So.
I'm telling you, I did a lot of research, and I think you have to add doctor title to my name.
Okay. But doctor, your listeners, they don't know what genitalia is. I don't know what it means.
Doctor Kel.
Dr. Kel.
Okay, so female genitalia literally means the vulva, the clitoris of a lady. We're talking about the clitoris, and we know that the clitoris is it contributes to the sexual stimulation of a lady. So now, okay.
But whatever you people are saying right now, you shall know that a minor is here.
Oh, sorry.
Grace. I thought Grace said she's 100 yards.
Okay, for today I'm a minor.
You're a minor. Okay. Grace is always coming with different title every week, but then it's all good. We have 4 types of this FGM. We have the SUNA, the first one, or circumcision. Then we have clitoridectomy. We also have infibulation, and the 4th one, I think I will have to talk about that 4th one especially. Okay, now the first one is the partial or total removal of the clitoral gland and the prepuce. Now, clitoridectomy involves the partial or total removal of the clitoral gland and the labia minora. So now when we're talking about the labia minora and labia majora, labia minora is the 2 lips inside the vagina that covers the vagina opening and the urethra. While the labia majora, it is the outer lip that covers the whole vulva. Yeah, that is where the hair grows and all of that. Yeah, when I said it the other time that I'm not a doctor, it's not joke. It's no joke, man. Yes, I'm not a doctor, either you accept it or not. Now, when we're talking about the infibulation, that I feel like that's the most crazy part. In this aspect, they cut out some parts and then, they reposition it using stitching. Like, how would you cut someone and then, God,
it looks so ugly.
Like, it is
like what already ugly on its own.
What they really want to achieve by doing that, I really do not understand. And even if you feel like this thing is not so prevalent, according to WHO, about 230 women and girls had gone through this. So it's literally a major thing out there. But I feel like we're really not looking deep into it. And the last type is the funny one. You see, you people that used to pierce, you used to incise, rape, and cauterize your vagina. Una they do female genital mutilation.
They don't know. They need to be arrested.
Sincerely, and the government is not in support of that. So if you're a lady and you do that, you're literally mutilating yourself. Yeah, I know you didn't pay for that information, but I'm giving you free of charge. FGM is mostly carried out on young girls between infancy and age 15. These are people that do not even have opinion of their own. Like, why do you make these people go through these pains and all of that? Now, we all know it is the violation of girls and human rights.
Fundamental infringement.
Sincerely.
And it's not even safe. It's not safe
because the
there's no medical backup. There is no therapeutic basis.
Nothing. Nothing actually.
No. I think FGM has to do with, maiming people without medical reasons.
Lab rats.
Sincerely. Sincerely, it is wrong on all sides. So now we want to discuss this with a medical doctor. So we have a medical doctor in the building who is going to, enlighten us about what FGM really is, the effect it has on people, the legal framework and all of that. Okay, so in the studio today we have with us Dr. Tosin Olonite. Good afternoon, Dr. Tosin.
Hey guys, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Good afternoon.
I've been so much on listening in on you guys.
Oh, thank you so much. We're really glad to have you with us in the studio. Earlier, I talked about what FGM is all about, but then from your own perspective as a medical doctor, can you briefly run us through what FGM is all about?
Female genital mutilation.
Yes. Like I said, I've had so much fun listening in on you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
And,
we are blushing right now.
Okay. So I think I'll correct some things and then I'll add to some of the things you guys have mentioned.
Okay, that works.
Okay, so not to bug you guys with too much big medical
Terms.
language.
Okay.
But I think it would be proper to just give the WHO, the UNICEF, and the United Nations Population Funds Agency. They gave a definition in 1997, as FGM, that's female genital mutilation, being the partial, that's some part, or the total removal of the external female genitalia, as well as other type of injury to the female genital organs for non-medical reasons. That means whatever you do to that part of the body for non-medical reasons, you are committing FGM, and it's a crime both in global and local laws. Right? So, and then they call it ritual cutting because it's deeply rooted in all these very unhealthy, terrible cultural practices in certain parts of the world, and a large prevalence is in Africa, in Middle East, and in Asia. All right, and the statistic shows that over 230 million women and girls, it's not just young girls, some women fell into this category in the statistics, and then 230 million all over the world have suffered from FGM, with 144 million coming from Africa, specifically from Somalia. So the highest figures are coming from Somalia, from Guinea, from Djibouti, Egypt, Sudan, and Mali. 80 million is coming from Asia, 6 million from Middle East, and then 1 or 2 million from other parts of the world. And this stat is current, it's 2024 statistics.
I think we are happy that only one thing that Nigeria is
working on.
Nigeria is also part of it. Nigeria is actually part of it.
At least our percent is still low.
So meaning to say, as we're even talking now, like every 1 second or 2 seconds, somebody is being caught globally.
Here's the thing. I checked the statistics and then I saw, according to the statistics, there's no progress. There is some progress, and then there's strongest progress. And Somalia has 95% of no progress. So even with the fact that WHO are reaching out, calling out people to stop this evil act, I don't think in Somalia they're hearing that.
Like, what is going? Is it that they don't know that it's bad?
I feel there's a lot going on with the wars that have happened over time and all. So AIDS, international AIDS and all, getting there's an issue with them, information getting to that part of the world. With the war going on, it's covering up a lot of, will I say crime? Because FGM counts as a crime. So one can't really monitor what's going on in that part of the world because of the violence and insecurity going on there. So you can't really cop cultural practices going on there. So I feel the war has a big part to play in that. And for the FGM is deeply rooted, like I said, in how girls are raised in this part of the world. So is this concept of, they're preparing them for adulthood, the rites of passage, and then early marriage. That's a child bride culture. So it's a cofactor that allows this to be done. And then this is a sort of way to control their sexuality because the belief it helps in premarital virginity and marital fidelity. And this is usually done by a traditional circumciser. They call them kota. And it could be an elderly woman.
We were talking about it yesterday. I actually said circumciser. You needed to
circumciser, But they just call them kota. Kota is like the lay word for it. So an elderly woman usually do this in the community, or a male barber, depending on the community. A male barber that does the hair, you know, anyone that is skillful with blades. And then they use sharp cutting objects like blades, metal, and you definitely know they will be unsterile.
Sanitized.
They are not sterilized.
A barber will cut it for them.
No, they are saying like she's
They are dirty
comparing it.
methods and all. Not the regular barber. I mean, they are barber in that locality, but they don't cut the regular. They cut the blade, like they shave the hair off the blade. So this kind of people are also used instead of traditional women. So they are also circumciser. They are also cutters. Although their work is to cut hair, but they, because they are skillful with the blade, they can also be used as they can also double as circumciser in that locality. And the age range of victims, they vary from birth to puberty. And we've heard of stories of people now trying to do it as early as possible, even before these girls, you know, grow in age, very early, before the age of 5. They try to do that. So it just seems like the girls are not even aware that they've been circumcised. It's terrible what's going on. And factors that have affected is, I've said, child marriage. Illiteracy is big on the list. Illiteracy, especially of the mother of these children. If she knows better, she would do better. If she knows better, she would do better. All right. But illiteracy is big on this. Then cultural practices that are deeply rooted as well. Third world countries, poverty, patriarchal society, as well as lack of awareness generally on the dangers. So I feel if they know about these dangers, they will know not to do it. But some of them feel like, oh, this is how they've been doing it generation to generation.
So they should keep
Why
up
should
with
But
it.
is it that nothing happens along the way? Because if probably
A lot of
maybe
things happen,
Like
but they
they
don't necessarily associate it, or they found a coping
mechanism,
Yeah, they don't associate it to that cutting. When a woman bleeds to death and then she dies at childbirth, you know, they don't necessarily associate it to witchcraft, maybe the husband's second wife or some witches in the community. They won't know that it's the, you know,
that
the
is not doing
cutting,
anything.
that cutting. Yeah. So, and then there's this fear or stigmatization of social exclusion if it is not done. So that also prioritizes the mothers and the women, you know, to present these girls for the rites of passage. But I think I would like to clarify this. The types of FGM, you guys mentioned it earlier. I feel like I clarified them properly.
Okay.
We have 4 types. Okay, we have type 1, type 2, 3, and 4. So for 1 is the clitoridectomy. The clitoris is going to be removed. That upper part is going to be removed with the hood over it. The type 2 is the excision. You remove the clitoris and the labia minora, the inner lips. The third type is divided into 3 parts. You remove the clitoris. For A part, you remove the clitoris, the minora, and the majora. You remove everything. You get everything off.
So this one is the type 3.
The one with the small opening.
Type 2.
That is the
3A. Okay,
No,
3A.
that's
Okay. Step 3 even have A and B.
Inflation.
Yeah, so 3A is clitoris, minora, and majora.
Okay.
3B is infibulation. That's where they also call it the pharaonic type. You sew the entire labia majora up, leaving a tiny hole for menstrual blood to flow out.
But I have a question, ma.
Okay.
You just said
Then
that.
Then type 4 is any other harm that could be done, like burning, piercing, twiddling it, stretching, you know, piercing and all. That's just type 4.
Type 4, yeah. So
Infibulation is crazy.
I think I should still use this moment to tell those ladies out there that pierces their vagina that they can get sued for that.
They can get sued.
Yes,
they can.
it's all shades of wrong, really. Color purple, gray, and your question, Precious.
Now my question. You made mention of the part 3, like the type 3. You said it has 3 parts, right?
Yeah. 2 parts.
2 parts.
Okay.
Then you said the infibulation. That is where they cut and sew. Then they leave small parts for
Menstrual blood flow.
Yeah.
So now my question is, are they not deceiving themselves? That small part that they left for this thing to flow. Something can still happen now. Because even in childbirth, it expands. Will it not
No,
expand?
that's what happens.
She said it's
That's
really
what happens. They
tiny.
go back.
There's
No, they
this
go
in
back to open up when she's ready for
For
marriage.
marriage.
You needed to
And
see the
then
pain.
Like
but,
seriously.
but is there no way for that place to
It is
expand?
sort of
Because
way
you know
to
that we are
go
very
from
flexible.
That's why I said there are terrible cultural practices too, and it's aimed on trying to control a woman's sexuality.
Yeah, it's more like they're trying to tame the women.
Who wants
Because
spoil?
yeah,
One
you know,
supposed to
you know,
spoil
you see,
you.
the thing is, I also
It's
read
terrible
a
method.
research work. I read a research work where you know, they were analyzing how this thing, the process. So
Okay.
I think the mother of the child will even tell the girl, "Oh, you see, your mates are doing it now. It's a normal thing. Go do it." So when the child accepts to go do it, the father will go with
Yeah.
a guinea fowl and millet. They didn't state
okay.
the country, but it is more like they're using it to celebrate their children into
That they are still virgins.
exactly into
Yeah,
womanhood. And I
yeah.
really do not get why you go through that extreme. In fact, you're even lying to the child. For you to tell the child that, oh, your friends are doing it, you can also do it, is the normal way of life. I think it's all shades of wrong.
Yeah, it is. Some cultures have very terrible habits that must, all hands must be
Eradicated,
on
yeah.
deck. Yeah, eradicate, like absolute zero eradication. They have to stop. It's extreme, it's extreme. And you can imagine the pain these girls goes through, especially those that don't even know. Those that don't, I think that's even the worst. At least if she knows,
Yeah, it's a
it
decision.
will be easy, she will know, okay, something has happened and she needs help. But this one, she doesn't know, and she knows something is wrong down there. And it takes like maybe a lot of emotional, like to get the mom to talk, and then okay, she said, "Oh, this is done and all." So different stories. So I feel it's all shades of wrong, like you said. But when you are dealing with culture, there are murky waters, and a lot has to go in to break certain terrible cultural patterns. A lot has to go in. The government has to put their hands on deck.
And the NGOs,
Individuals have to put their hands on deck. So everybody has to like join hands to fight. FGM is a menace, and everyone it touches, like it's something that, because I remember almost like in a crowd of 10, you could almost have 2 or 3 people that has either got through it or almost had an attempt could have been done. 'Cause I remember when I was serving, I had a friend and we were doing this work, and she had to like open up and say it was almost done to her. And this is someone that just 5 years. Yeah, it's just happened like a few decades ago. And she was like, it almost happened to her. The mom was already on the way, and it was the dad who just ran after him and snatched her from. I said, what do you want to
Wait,
do? What
it's
do you want
even
to
the
do?
mother that wants to do it now, not
It's
even the
not
father.
mom. I'm telling you, it was a mom, and this happened like some years back, and she was like, oh my God, what is it? I mean, some decades ago, and she was like, what are you doing? Why do you want to do that? And the mom was like, she does not want to be ostracized in the society.
I'm very sure our friends,
societal pressure.
my friend is doing it. I want to do it too.
And the dad was like, he doesn't care that whoever wants to, like, the dad stood the ground, and forever she's grateful to that dad. So she was sharing that story, and I just had a different perspective that this is closer to home, that it is not just something we read in papers and watching. No, it's happening. And if she had not opened up, we would just have thought that it's just some random things we'll talk about.
Able doctor, thank you for giving us that insight.
And we have to stop it. Really.
Actually. The next question here now is that, can you help us to run through the health implication of genital mutilation? Because these things are something that you made mention of, is an unsanitized area. They can probably do it. So what are those health
implications?
What are those health implications that maybe a victim can encounter during the process?
Okay. I think the first on the list is recurrent infections. And then after a while, the individual could go into what we call septic shock, and then ultimately dead.
What's septic
the
shock?
entire blood system gets infected. The entire bloodstream gets infected, and then from there it affects, ability for it to get to certain parts of the body, and then the patient dies. There's difficulty in urinating. there's difficult urination.
Okay, urinary
And
problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Passing menstrual flow. That can also cause septic shock in itself. Like the blood flow kept piling up in the vaginal canal. It's not flowing out. She can get infection from that. That can track up into her womb and then cause what we call PID, inability to get pregnant. And
Infertility.
she can get frigid, lack of sexual pleasure when she's ready. She won't be able to enjoy sex anymore.
Enjoy
Joy,
her.
This is
Okay.
madness. They will not cut if you can't enjoy sex.
Sex,
Like,
yes. Now here's my own problem now.
person
Okay,
cannot
here's
know
where I
what
have
that
a
means.
problem with this thing.
HIV, childbirth complications, and ultimately death. Yeah,
Okay,
and then there's, I think I should mention this. Sorry, VVF, vesicovaginal fistula.
What is that?
Where the urinary part, the part for urinating, that is under the clitoral area.
Yeah, the
clitoris.
urethra.
Yes. In the process of trying to cut that, something could happen, and then that part for urine gets matched up with the part for the blood flow.
Yes.
So that the person cannot control urine again, and then the
Yes,
urine.
I think I've seen a victim of that.
So that's when they start
Yes,
bedwetting
Yes,
and
yes.
bedwetting.
You will not be sensitive to know when you
You
are
want to
pressed.
pee.
Yes.
Yes, so they just pee and they, they get everywhere.
Okay, like I
Sorry.
said earlier, here's where I have a problem with this whole thing. Now, the main reason why they don't want their kids to do this is because they don't want them to, to curb infidelity. Yeah, they don't want them to, be wayward, sort of. Now, after removing this whole thing, and okay, now you're about to go wed and everything. You said all the time that it causes, I think, PID. This means like it would even be difficult for them to conceive. So, what is the purpose of this thing? If this person is not wayward, after getting married, she's not even enjoying this sex. It's more as though you're punishing her while you're penetrating or having sex with her. Now, we all believe in Africa that after marriage, the blessing of a marriage is children. Now, this same thing will still now she doesn't enjoy sexual whatever, and at the same time, she might not be able to have a child. So, for goodness sake, what is the purpose of doing this? Because even the advantages, I feel like the advantage to the disadvantage is just it is not balanced.
No, there are no advantages actually. There's no known health benefits. Absolutely
There's no
none.
medical backup, so there's no advantage.
Nothing.
There's no
I'm
advantage.
actually
No,
confused.
I'm saying that the advantage the parent thinks they are having from it.
Exactly. I feel like it's the wrong approach. It is not even what they are supposed to use to curb that. Cultural practices, encouraging chastity and just encouraging, sexual purity. A lot can be done. There could be incentive for girls.
Sexual education.
Yeah, education, and I feel cultural, discipline. There are certain disciplines for girls, depending on the culture, that can be reinforced, as long as it is within moral boundaries and it's not extreme. That can be cautioned. I think there are certain things in the Yoruba culture that just makes you think, as a lady and all. That is better. That is the proper approach, not FGM. FGM is extreme. It's like trying to control someone to do so. You don't control, you try to encourage people to do the right thing. You don't control them.
Yeah, right. Sorry, I'm confused about something. No, going back to that type of this thing, it's not like I'm taking us back. But as we're discussing this, I just thought of something. That clitoridectomy, right? Is the total and partial removal of the clitoris. So when is not time, like when they probably want to get married now, and the mother say, okay, now you can go outside now and look for a man. Where would they get the clitoris now to sew back? How would they do it?
It's gone.
How did they do it?
That's why they so lost. It's lost.
So where is the man now? You like how?
The vagina is different from the clitoris.
Yeah,
But that kind of person without the clitoris, that kind of person cannot enjoy sex.
No,
now.
That is basis of what they are saying.
Yeah, I think the
You cannot
clitoris.
get orgasm.
The clitoris contribute to the stimulation of.
It contributes to so it reduces the experience.
Yeah, so that means they're not even enjoying what they are having.
Yeah.
Then she just die a virgin, because how will you just stay like that? No enjoyment. How will you enjoy sex? It's crazy.
Now I
That's
think
when society will expect her to get married, no.
I think Precious is already giving a sneak peek into what's making her excited, because that's what's making her excited.
Then how can a victim recover? What is the medical aid that you medical personnel give to any of the victims?
Okay, depending on the type that was done.
Okay.
First is to get, there are two parts, the medical treatment and then the psychological aspect of it. And then I think the third part is social, helping them to get incorporated back in society, especially those that have ostracized themselves and all because of the pain. So the first one is treating, if there's any contracted medical condition, you have to treat that alongside treating the vaginal wounds themselves. So if the person has been infected with HIV, you also have
during
to manage that.
have you had any case of that, of a victim having HIV during the process?
There are a lot of statistics.
Wow.
But if anyone wants to go, I'm sure there will be definitely. These are my resources are from medical statistics, so definitely, And so it has to be treated as well. You have to treat the medical condition that was contracted. You also have to treat the vaginal wounds from that. And then in a case of type 3B, where the infibulation has been done, you have to do a procedure to reverse, which is to open up that vagina. So we call it de-infibulation. So what has been done up, you have to open it up and allow it.
Is it like a surgery, or what is the medical work
it's a
for it?
surgical procedure. De-infibulation. So the procedure of sewing is infibulation. So when you want to reverse it, the procedure is de-infibulation to reverse the sewing up.
But when it's time to reverse it, do they use anesthesia, or how do they do it?
Yeah, it's a medical procedure, so they all stand. And then for the mental side, counseling, mental health professional has to come in and counsel. And it's not, it's going to take time, so you have to give them time to heal, and for some, they carry that scar for life, but time is a big factor here. And then therapy section, like art therapy, get them to talk, to open up, journaling, going for support groups, to see fellow survivors and just talk about it. Plays a big part. So therapy sections and also liaising with agencies that are helping women, support groups that are helping women, we really help to bring them, to incorporate them back to society fully.
All right.
So I think United Women has done something like that in Burkina Faso and Benin.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, we know about male circumcision, which I think is literally necessary for a man. It is necessary for them to do male circumcision for a guy.
That's medical backup.
Yeah, it's medically backed up, because if you do not do it, I think there's all this aspect of it being smelly and all of that. Now, can we compare male circumcision to female genital mutilation? Can it be compared at all? Like, maiming a lady's private part and a guy's circumcision, can it be compared?
Yeah, but in a very is a limited. The comparison is limited in the sense that in female genital mutilation, a broader part of the reproductive system is damaged,
Okay,
and it has absolutely no medical benefits.
Backup, yeah.
Whereas for the male, it's just cutting off of the foreskin over the head of the penis.
Okay.
And it has a benefit because it prevents infection. That pouch has the ability to collect dirt and all. So over time, it can cause inflammatory reaction can occur, and it can be infected. So cutting it off, and it's a medical procedure. Why FGM is not categorized as a medical procedure, and it's a criminal act. Why male circumcision is it's a medical procedure, and it's done for babies after birth. So that's the limited, but it's not the FGM is not right, and it's illegal. Male circumcision it's part of medical procedures for male child.
Okay. During our discussion yesterday and research, Odiawa 2024 said there is that it's the genital mutilation of a teen can cause a female, a woman cesarean through and when giving birth.
Okay, so that means they can have the child on their own.
Yes. How true is that? So that I can go back to my colleague and you are wrong.
Very true. Very true, because take for instance the infibulation. When they go back to open up, that area, because of healing, it has lost. That area is supposed to have a great amount of elasticity because of how it has been designed by nature to give birth to the baby house. But because of the whole manipulation and not scarring has occurred, and we have fibrous tissues, and fibrous tissues are not stretchy, so it's just going to be, the way when you compare jeans material with spandex.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah. So it's you can't expect elasticity from that kind of mutilated tissues
Oh.
to that has never undergone that kind
So
of womb.
there is
So the other
tendency.
woman may be able to, do vaginal delivery without complication. She will have tears. And to avoid tears, which can be complicated because there's already mutilation. We don't want in the case of VVF, we don't want the urinary tract. Let's just CS because there's already damage to the normal canal for the child. Let's just go CS to avoid complications. Yes.
Okay, so is there like a law for FGM?
Yes, there is globally and locally.
Okay, so like can you share?
Yeah, for the United Nations Thursday, 20th of December 2012, the United Nations General Assembly, comprising of 194 member states, they approved 5 resolutions to advance women's rights, and one of them intensify on elimination of FGM. And then for Nigeria, FGM was banned officially in May 2015, and that's during the tenure of President Goodluck Jonathan. And in respect to that section 6 of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act in the Nigerian Constitution, it provides for a set of punishments for offenders caught in the act of FGM. And there are different categories, whether you support or you are the actual circumciser or the parent that consented to that, everyone is liable. And some of this punishment includes anybody that performs, on any person is liable to a term of imprisonment, not exceeding 4 years, or to a fine not exceeding 200,000. I feel the fine is too much. The 4 years jail time, okay, but I feel it should be as high as 1 million because the consequence, even 1 million can't revert the really.
I know, right? Because they can't quantify the pain.
But still,
the
if this
victim is
law
going through.
It really exists, why are people doing it? But I don't think they are holding them accountable for what they are doing.
Can a victim maybe that has been mutilated, maybe I want to raise the case up, I want to sue my parents, is they going to be legally acceptable
to sue one's parents for doing that to them? Wow, that's another thing. But then it would be difficult for a child to come up and be like, I want to sue my parents.
Some people,
and that's why some people can. It's a lot of emotional blackmailing going on there.
Exactly. That's when you start hearing, I gave birth to you,
I carried you for 10 months
for your good. It is all for your good. Whereas in the actual sense, it is not for the lady's good. It is just for your own benefits. You're doing it because you don't want to be ostracized in the community. You're doing it for economic reasons. You're just doing it for your own selfish interest, not for the child. I feel when you want to say you do something for a child, it is when the child tells you, oh, mommy, I want you to do this for me, and you do it for the child. It is the child asking you for it, like, mom, please do this for me.
My body, my choice.
Exactly,
like, it's their choice,
it's my choice.
body.
I can decide what I want to do with my body. It is not
every
your
child
business.
has a right.
Sincerely. But then let's look at this too. I think I came across some things online on TikTok, and then I was seeing a child of 16-year-old, 17-year-old saying they have a boyfriend. I think I even saw one today. She said she has about 2 million naira in her account. And then they asked these kids, okay, so when your boyfriend gives you about 2 million naira, what do you give them in return?
Okay, what was her response?
If I like him enough, I'll give him my body.
Wow.
So in short, at that age, she already knows that it's a trade and by barter thing. Once you give me money, I'm going to give you my body. So I feel like parents that believe in female genital mutilation, when they see stuff like this, it gives them more reason to believe in the evil thing they're doing. So I'm just like putting this out there, like parents
trying to justify what they are doing.
Sincerely, parents needs to do a lot.
I really feel there's absolutely no reason for FGM.
For people to do it. And I also believe that in some part of the world, it might also be because they want to, men want you to know that we are on top. They just want to tame women, just be the head of the family, be the head of the whole thing. But I really want to say that regardless, either it's for your own pride or whatever, it is nothing to write home about, and it is something every one of us, if you know in your community they're doing this, if you ever heard of it, I think it's okay to reach out to the government. But then talking about reaching out to the government, I would likely say that there are a lot of things going on in the country that I feel like even the government might not even listen to you. But are there any agencies people can reach out to in cases like this? Oh, I saw someone in my community that they're doing this. I need to meet with an agency, because it is these people that would literally listen to
There
you.
are several agencies around. Yeah, there are several NGOs around. Even for the complication, the VVF.
Okay.
I've come across a number of organizations that provide free medical treatments for victims of vesicovaginal fistula.
Okay.
Complications from that or from childbirth and other things. So yes, NGOs, private initiatives, even international organizations, they do. It's just like bureaucracy and all can also be a factor in allowing care gets to those that really need it,
Thank you for telling us about. And lastly, on today's episode, what are the other move needs to be taken to put an end to this menace? Because it feels I said earlier, according to the statistics, some countries are still practicing this back to back. Thank God Nigeria is working on it, but then there are still some countries that are doing this, and we can't say that. It's still low in Nigeria, but then I feel like we're getting to the point whereby we're gradually eradicating it. But what are the other moves that you think the government needs to take in order to eradicate this totally?
One is the laws that have been in place should be enforced.
Okay.
Yes, I feel like if you tell a regular Nigerian there are laws against this, it's strange. They don't even know there are laws. Even victims don't know there are laws protecting them. So enforcing the laws that have been put in place, that's one. Two is training healthcare workers to be able to peek beyond what people present with. These girls, some of them are cases of child abuse and all. When you present in clinic, you might be able to spot that, okay, maybe there's something more. Let me try and,
Yeah.
But that won't necessarily be a government. Governments can try and write that in their policies, but that won't necessarily be a government job. For the government, it's more of policies really and funding and establishing centers that help to cater to girls that have been victims. I think that's where government comes in. Policies and funding. The others are mainly for NGOs initiatives to partner up, and then private individuals, and education, like what we are doing now, platforms to speak against it,
creating awareness.
Letting people know this thing is wrong and this is how we can stop it. So I don't think it's a government thing. I think it's an everybody's thing. Yes, government should do more, and we should. If you have not done anything, start doing something. If you're doing something, do more. Because the statistic is saying for us to eradicate it by United Nations target of 2030 for the SDG 3, we have to do 27 times of the efforts we are doing now.
Putting it now. Wow.
To end FGM by 2030. 27 times the effort. So that it's not a government thing, it's a you thing, it's a me thing, it's an us thing, it's an everybody's thing. Which is why I really love what you guys are doing now. You're doing a bit.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Tosin, for joining us this afternoon. We're really glad to have you, and thank you for giving us insight into these things, clarifying things, and letting people know. Joining us to create awareness regarding FGM. A lot of people are dying because of this. A lot of people has lost their life because of this. A lot of people are not even proud of their body because of this, and a lot of people cannot even enjoy life. They can't even enjoy having a child. They're in pain, and even the child they give birth to, I feel like because of the trauma that comes with it, there's sometimes there's this hate that comes with having that child, because they feel like this child made me go through all of this pain. Yeah, because they don't want me to have you. I've been through all of this pain. So I feel like emotional trauma, psychological trauma comes with all of this. Call out to action, to the government, to the people, to everyone listening, that there is need to eradicate FGM. Yes.
Say no to FGM.
Say no to FGM.
Say no to piercing.
Exactly. Say no to piercing.
Shop, burn it.
So I feel like people do it for fashion. There is nothing fashionable about it. My sister. Yes, you can do a lot of beautiful things to yourself, and people will find you attractive and beautiful. Going that far, really.
I mean, it's down there.
For a man.
For a man.
That's what it is.
Yeah, thank you very much once again for joining us. And let me also thank my ladies in the studio for this amazing episode. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, Grace.
Thanks for having us.
And also want to say a big thank you to our listener that have been keeping up with us, returning listener, and people that are still listening. We're really grateful.
You're
and
special.
You're special. We hold you dear to our heart.
love you.
And we'll promise to always give you nice and beautiful content, educating and entertaining content. We're not just here to educate you, but we'll give you the entertainment part so that you had fun when you're listening. And yeah, until next week, do have a great day.